All right, we are live for the 91st episode of the
Let's Go podcast. A little extra longer Let's Go
I was gonna say.
for the breaking news that HSL has, with Hashem's help, acquired the amazing night leagues that Ariel Cohen has grown it into, and we look forward to taking it to the next level starting with the summer. We may or may not get into that, but for now, we are very happy to have Doug Manela and Menachem Dick on the podcast. You know, the Rise to Fly Black Sox, which was a lot of flack before this season. Man. Yours truly, Commissioner Avi Edelman, had them at 2 in the power rankings before the season started. And as my prediction, they came through and they have advanced to the championship. They'll face the Jules by DK Hungry Hippos. It's going to be a good matchup, a great matchup. Two gritty teams. We're very excited for it. David, take it away.
All right, before we take it away, Menachem, did the echo issue get worse for you when Avi was talking?
Avi's echo? No. I didn't hear an echo on Avi.
Okay, I think Avi's talking. I was getting the feedback from Manela's thing while Avi was talking, but if you weren't, that's okay. All right, yeah, so take it away. I didn't really know Big Dave Manela and Menachem Big League Dicker before this season. I've played with Rada for 10 years. I'm not such a great player, but what's amazing is he's always bringing down these like super talented players, and we're in the championship like every freaking year. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter what the story is. So, we were in the championship, then our team got a little worse. Then Edelman was on our team way back when it was one tier. Then we're back in the championship. Then Edelman left. We had one off year when Edelman and some of his crew left. We had one off year. Brady's like, okay, we got to retool for next year. And he sends me these texts like, David Manela is in, 6 exclamation points. Menachem Dicker is in, 9 exclamation points. And I knew Manela. I didn't know Dicker. I knew Manela from B League because he was a captain. I was like, okay, great. Sendy Berger is going to be pitching for us. It's funny. Rada's like, he's a very mellow guy, but when it comes to finding softball players, there's nothing that gives him more excitement. So, I was happy the guys joined. And then I get to the first game, and Menachem Big League Dicker, I call him Big League because he lumbers around first base like he's Pete Alonso or something. You know what I'm talking about, Manela?
100%. Albert Pujols. I would only accept Albert Pujols. I don't do any of these Mets players ever.
And then Manela is also just a phenomenal player, a big guy, but he flies around the outfield like he's half the weight.
That's high praise. That's high praise, David. Thank you. I wish I believed it as much as you did, but thank you.
Call Dave the magic carpet because he just covers so much of the outfield.
He does, right? And you wouldn't expect it. Yeah, you wouldn't
100%,
expect it.
100%.
Yeah. So anyway, it's really good to have you guys. It's good to have you guys on. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Middle of a workday, relaxed. I love it. Let's go.
I'm on my lunch break, talk baseball. Why not?
Yeah, I was gonna say, all you guys are squeezing in a podcast. This is part of my daily routine. It's another work day for me,
Right.
Exactly. Avi's in his home office.
Right.
So how long? So Manela, you're a little older than I don't know. You guys seem very close. How long do you guys go? How far do you guys go back? Because
How long have you been playing together, Malcolm? 6 years?
I would say 6, 7 seasons. Yeah, 6, 7 years on the on the Tigers for sure. Yeah.
Is that where you met on the? Is that where you met on the Tigers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I originally. I'm trying to think, Dave. How did I become part of the Tigers? I think Yitzchak Weiss might have reached out to me originally, because me and Yitzchak had played together like one season, and then then I met like back then we had a very different team. We had like Yomo Newman. We had what's his name, Solomon. I forgot Cohen's first name. Michal Posey. Right. We had a very different team back then. But we were solid. We weren't like crazy competitive. We weren't like a championship team, but we always like.
We won a championship. We won a championship in year 2.
I wasn't on that team then.
Okay.
I never won the championship. Right. I'm a bad luck charm, right? But so we started playing then, and then our team just kind of changed into like the Yitzchak Weiss kind of thing, and then Sendy joined. And then Chesky Itzkowitz joined, like whatever. We slowly but surely built up a great team over the years, and this core team has been together probably 4 seasons now, I would say. And
Where are you guys from? Where are you guys from?
I'm originally from Bayswater, and now I live in Frockaway.
Flatbush, North Woodmere.
Flatbush. Oh, so you're both local.
Yeah.
So the common denominator between all of this is Yitzchak Weiss.
So
Well, it's baseball. Baseball is the common denominator. Softball.
Baseball's softball.
And then obviously David's a great guy because we became good friends, and he's a good man.
He's a good man. Got it. And Weiss is from where?
Flatbush.
He's from Flatbush.
Still lives there.
Okay, and the Tigers, and it's been called the Tigers the whole time that you guys have been playing together. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
We've always been orange, so yeah.
You've always been orange. You don't read. You're just like
exactly.
Dicker just shows up and looks for the orange jersey.
I'm like, what field am I on? I told our sub last week. We had a sub, and I'm like, I don't know what field we're on. Just go to the fields and look for like the most orange jerseys you can find. And he's like, yeah, that's how I found it.
That's funny. By the way, you have any connection with Yeshiva Zichron Aryeh in Bayswater, Menachem?
Yeah. I mean, I know friends who've been there. I grew up there. I know of the yeshiva. I've never been I never davened there.
I was in the yeshiva there for a few years. It's sort of a landing ground for Chavetz Chaim rejects to the story.
Dave, you're a Chavetz Chaim guy?
I used to be, way back. Yeah.
I call David off the Derek Chavetz Chaim guy.
Nice.
Well, I mean, it's because you're the most in the Derek Chavetz Chaim guy.
David, you want to know what's so funny? My brain when I hear the color orange and the Tigers, I'm thinking that like for the summer season when we're doing jerseys, usually everyone has to fight who doesn't get the orange jersey. No one wants the orange jersey. This is great. Now we have a team we can just hand the orange jersey off.
Love it. Let's go.
I actually think the orange jerseys are pretty sharp. Like last year we had the Crew in the Sunday League, and I don't know who has it this year.
It's never a request. It's always
never a request.
Like the last team to ask have to be stuck with them, so I'm happy.
So something else interesting about the Tigers in particular, before me and Avi are excited about the night league tour, talking about the Tigers. There are teams, I play a lot on this Sunday, I've played less in the Wednesday night. There are certain types of teams that come and go. There are certain, which is, I would say maybe half of the teams or more, there are some teams that have like a culture. The Tigers seem to have a culture, which is really nice. There are not a ton of teams like that. The Robins clearly have a culture. The Bombers clearly do. Edelman's squad, it's a little tricky because they're still sort of new. They're still sort of new. Yeah, but the Tigers in the night league definitely have a culture. I don't know exactly what that means, but you see the same guys, the same faces, certain mentality.
So I'll speak to that. Basically, we when we ask guys to play, and I'm sure a lot of captains do this. When we ask guys to play, we want guys to commit to playing at least 75-80% of the games. We don't want guys that are just going to be there for 2 games to become playoff eligible and see you in the playoffs. We want guys to compete and guys to have fun, and we want guys that are going to commit to a full season, and that we don't need to be bothered looking for subs, because part of my job before Yitzchak Weiss came aboard, and I hated every second of this, part of it was that I had to get 3 to 4 guys every single week to come fill out a roster, and it was just not the way to do things. And when we recruited new guys, we said, look, you got to show up. And yeah, we have the occasional absences here and there, and one or two a week. What is normal? We all have lives, obviously, but that's the whole point. That we want guys that are going to commit to competing on a weekly basis. That's
it's sort of the opposite of Rada, who built squads completely around playoff eligibility. His squads are built around playoff eligibility.
Yeah.
His Sunday morning Sunday morning, I think we were trying to figure out the championship, right? I'm so confused because I'm like confused what league we're talking about right now, but I'm talking about us, the Black Sox. He was just going through. He's like, okay, because I know that Mo Feldman is not going to be here this week, which is massive, massive hole for us, and we're going to be good though. But he was like trying to figure out, well, I have four players playoff eligible. We're going to put this guy there, but he like really keeps track of it, and it's like it's funny how he centers it around that, but it works. It just works.
It does work. He's in a lot of championships, and he wins a
Yeah,
lot of championships, and he loves
yeah,
doing it. He's like a general manager. I don't know what else to call
Yeah.
it.
right. It's honestly, it was a very big. The way that I even got involved in the Black Sox Sunday morning, I've been playing like me and Dave Manela have been playing together now for 5, 6, 7 years, and the Black Sox have always been a team in the Wednesday night league, and I always knew, right? Like you said, Raider just puts together these teams. I never looked at Raiders team as a threat because of the fact that they were always just random guys from random places and picked from random teams. And I'm like, they're not consistent, but at the end of the day, like you said, he puts together great teams. And I didn't really take him seriously till we lost to him in the championship 2 seasons ago, or last year, I think we lost him. And that's not to say that I don't take Rada seriously. I never took the Black Sox seriously. And then he asked me, and I've always been 5, 6, 7 years I've been playing against them. And for the first time, Rada's like, oh, like, you want to play Sunday morning? And I'm like, I don't know, because the Black Sox have always been a rival of mine, whatever. And he's like, I got Sendy and Dave Manela. And I'm like, yeah, obviously.
He
I'm like,
knows
It hooks
obviously.
you.
I just want to play baseball. I don't care for who. Just I want to play. I don't care.
I want to play. I want to play with my team. I want to play with you and Sendy. And I'm like, you know what? Like, because I know that us three play well together. I know that we're all, we're great players. And I was like, you know what? Like, why not? I haven't played in the Sunday morning league yet. I know that Edelman and Gottlieb run a great league, and yeah, Rada hooked me, and you know what? And also, I thought we were just going to be a solid team. We would compete a little bit, but we're in the championship because Rada just knows what he's doing.
I was gonna say, if only you knew when you signed up, you'd be sitting on the HSL Let's Go podcast with 4 days before your championship game. It would have been so much easier. Oh wow,
Exactly.
Dave, we just got a
What happened?
we just got a message. No, we just got a message from the legendary Daniel Ash congratulating us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, now it's a lot. Now it's getting a little bit confusing, but I appreciate the congratulations. Okay. Anyways, let's continue here. Let's get into the championship game.
You see how excited Avi got that Daniel Ash texted him? Is that a normal level of excitement?
That was
He then followed
that was an 8.
He then followed up by saying, "Please don't take offense, but I don't have your number saved, so I had a hard time finding this chat. But I'll still take the."
Why would you say that? Why would you volunteer that information?
That's how he gets people to get so excited when he texts them. He has a way of, I don't know, making you feel like you're so lucky to have his number saved. He has a way of. I actually got him to do a podcast. It was really it was our most viewed podcast, by the way.
He claims, and he said it on the podcast that he was drunk on the plane when David asked him, which is why he said yes. But we'll never really know the real reason.
It's funny. I was also drunk when David asked me, and I said yes.
Sober idiot that said yes to this. I said I'm the old sober idiot that said yes to this.
Actually, I asked Dicker a few days ago, and I said, "Well, he mentioned your name." He's like, "Why don't you ask him to join?" Also, I said, "If you ask, he'll join," because I could just sense the chemistry between you guys.
I got you involved, Dave. I pulled you in.
He roped you in. So let's talk about the Sunday League. First of all, Menachem, is this your first season in the Sunday League? Period.
Yes, I might have subbed. I subbed last year 1 or 2 games for Avi, maybe your team. No, not Avi's team. I don't remember. I subbed 1 or 2 games last year. But yeah, this is my first year being part of the HSL Sunday morning.
Okay, and Manela, you played last year for Rada. Was that your first year with Rada?
I wasn't a full-time player last year. He did ask me to sub. I was a sub, but I played most of the games because and I'm not. I'm going to say something. You guys are going to take it the wrong way. When Shmuel asked me to become a full-time member of this Sunday morning team, I was under the impression that I was playing with that same team from last year with the
Syrian kids. You love those. You love those kids.
I loved those kids. I love those guys. Love them to
They
death.
left us. They left us for their league induction.
I heard there was drama. I heard there was Hawk. I heard, and I'm very happy that with the team that we have right now. Don't get me wrong. But when he told me, when he asked me, I said, if I didn't, I assumed, you know what happens when you assume. I assumed that it was going to be the same team, and it wasn't. But I'm very, very happy with the team that I'm on right now. I'm very, very lucky man.
Aw,
Our team
Dave.
this our team this year though does not have the vibes that we had with those Syrian
It
kids.
was crazy last year. It was so much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, we're a much better
Love
team.
those guys.
I think winning a championship and going to Smash House together will
I was gonna say, the vibes will be
it'll
high in Smash House if you guys win the championship. You
but
know.
we have like a very boring team. I'm not going to start naming names, but like I was thinking about it recently. We have like 6 guys on the team who can go an entire game without saying a word. You know what?
100%.
I'm actually gonna go through it. Ozzy Septimus can go
He
an
was my
entire
number
game
one
without saying.
also. Dave, he was my number one also. Go. Quietest guy on the team.
Mo Feldman can go an entire game without saying a word. Avi Crone or Cohn
Yeah,
or
Crone.
Crone, he could go a whole game without saying a word. There are more. There are more uh, on the team. It's a very mellow squad, I guess I would say. We need the Syrian. We need that Syrian energy back. I actually played with those Syrian kids in the fall league last year. Um, Everybody was under the age of 20 except me. Under 21, I think, except me. I'm 38. I was their catcher. It was a trip. I don't know. They all could have been my kids. So you guys are new to this, so you guys are more or less new to the Sunday league experience.
correct.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
there are 2 tiers of play. Also, there's an A tier, Avi. So the history is that there was 1 tier, and that's how me and Avi met. Rada being Rada, Avi's a great pitcher. Rada being Rada scooped up Avi. He found him. I don't know how the hell he found him. How did Rada find him?
I don't even remember. I just remember getting text after text after text begging me to join for a summer team once, and I didn't want to. But then me and Mo Feinta agreed to go together for the summer, I think, and then we continued in the spring. I'm pretty sure.
So then, when me and Avi took over the league, we broke up the team into the A League players and the B League players. So Avi went to the A League, and I stuck with Rada in the B League. And now we're here with you B Leaguers. So let's get to that. Actually, you guys, you're A League players or B League players?
Dave, you want to go first?
I am not anywhere close to an A-League player. I firmly believe that. I believe that if I were to go facing Daniel Ash, Steve Pollen, Yossi Kaufman, who I subbed for A-League teams and I played against them, I think in my combined like games, like the combined, I'd say 10 games I played against these guys, I might have 3 or 4 hits. Like I'm not that good of a player to play in the A-League consistently. I'm not saying that to be
Do
hard
you
on
think?
myself.
Do you
I
think
firmly
with
believe
more
that to be a
reps?
fact. What? I'm
Do
sorry?
you think with more? Do you think with more reps you to get better against these pitchers?
Could be. Could be.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I've played with these guys before. Like Avi, we even played in the HSL Fall League this past year, and I think we played against that CBS team. That's like a super team, and I think we lost. Like we were on like the worst team. We were King Ventures or something. I don't remember. It was me, the Levenger brothers.
You lost 2-1 to them in the last inning. Am I correct?
Yeah. It was a bit of a weird game all around. And nobody was really hitting well. Listen, we went up against them. I was able to hit them, but consistently playing against all these A leaguers, like again, I don't know. We play against Matt Rosenberg, and now he's on the Robins. We play against him Wednesday Night League. The guy's a phenomenal player. These guys are not like they're not un. They're not like unhittable. They're not like you can't play with them. It makes the competition a lot more intense for me personally. I love like the skill level in the B League. I think that the teams at Yo Mercy, there's 1 or 2 teams, but then the teams that are like a little bit more competitive, I think they're fun to play against. I think it ends up being a good, 8-5, 9-5 game. You could almost you can't always guarantee yourself a win. If you have an off game, you could lose to a team like this. And I
So
love the
David,
competitiveness.
that's my as everyone knows, I'm a very big advocate of getting guys who I believe have the talent to try to break through today. The one logic that I can't really argue on is if a guy just doesn't like the intensity. The infantry is an extra level of super intensity. If a guy just doesn't want that super intensity, like who am I to say I don't care how you go play super intensity. So like that's something that I
Right.
can't really push on anybody. The talent I can push. Like I believe could easily start hitting better pitchers if he has enough reps in the league. I've seen him hit. He hits me very well. Calvin is a very good pitcher. He's not miles above me, and Collins also really good. But if you don't like the vibes in the league, it's too intense, too competitive. You want more, in a sense, chillaxed competition. Who am I to tell you anything?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean it's interesting because I think you guys are really talented players, and I'm also often curious to see how people will do. Um,
When
you
they
know,
move up.
yeah, Steve. We're very close with Steve. We have him on the podcast a lot, and he's like, maybe he's too humble, but he said he thinks that for people who have that basic level, it's all about reps. It would be hard for me to think you guys don't have the basic level just simply because you mash in the B. Yeah, Javi, I think this is a good way to put it. If somebody mashes at the B level, they should be able to work out the kinks at the A level. Does that make sense to you? And I don't mean a
Yeah.
guy. I don't mean a guy who hits. Some of these players they fly out every single time to left field, and once in a while it gets over the left fielder's head. Like
Yeah.
I don't consider that. I mean, I can't hit it over the left fielder's head, but I wouldn't recommend a guy like that to go to the A League. But somebody who's good at situational hitting, somebody good at different types of pitchers, different types of pitches. I would think. I don't know, Avi. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. A guy like Yisrael Muscat, right? Muscat's not a flashy hitter. He's not hitting bombs all the time, and he's hopefully recovering well from his ACL, MCL, whatever he has. Guy who knows how to hit the ball, hit it hard. If you hit it hard and down consistently, eventually I don't see a reason why you can't adjust to faster pitching, a little bit more movement. It's not like the pitchers in the B League are complete duds, right? They're not like, slowly lobbing it over. They know what they're doing. They're locating the pitch. It's not like they're just doing nothing with the pitch, but I don't know. That's my feelings on it.
I'm just laughing. Sachfeldberg he posted on YouTube. Steve claims he was only on the podcast 4 times total. I think he meant in the last week. Yeah, that sounds
I definitely
right.
think that there's if the biggest difference, I wouldn't even say our hitters, our fielders. I think the biggest difference of talent in the A League and the B League is pitching. I think that that's for sure the biggest thing. I think that Jesse Kaufman, Steve Collin, even when Daniel Ash was there, like these guys are phenomenal pitchers. And for me, that's the only. I just think when there is a little bit, more relaxed pitching, when a guy who knows how to put some movement on the ball, but it's not coming in at 40 miles an hour, I think that's when it can kind of level out the playing and the competitiveness kind of stays the same. And then it really relies on your hitters and your fielders. Now, again, not to say that you can't get better at hitting and then join the A League. For sure you can. But I think that's what keeps the B League, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And I think baseball is unique, or whatever. I keep saying baseball. Softball is unique, where for me personally, I'm not going to like a batting cage, or I'm not going to get practice reps other than game time. Like games are practice for that's the only time I'm ever touching a bat or a ball or a glove. I'm not really going out on my own and going for private lessons, for swing lessons or whatever. That's just me. I'm not a lifer like some of these A leaguer guys Archie Eichhorn and whatever, getting their swing coaches in here. It's just not me. So when you say get more reps and stuff like that, it's for me it's pretty hard because
when I say reps, I mean going through the dungeons of batting a 200 in an A spring league and then coming back and batting a 270 and batting a 350. But again, it's not for everybody. Not everybody wants that intensity. When I get very upset is when somebody says, "Oh, these guys are too good for me. I can't compete with them." That's what upsets me. If you don't like the vibes of the league, then okay, I understand. If you don't have the patience for it, then fine. Who am I to tell you have to have the patience for it? You have to have the vibes. But if it's just that you're scared, I'm scared, or probably not going to win a championship, all right, come on. It takes everyone time to win a championship in any league, and nothing's guaranteed. But I understand. There's different vibes, and people.
Have you guys ever faced? Avi?
yes.
You think he's
all the time? All the time.
A league material or B league?
A+++ league.
Where'd they face you all the time, Avi?
We played with this season.
Sunday mornings a lot. I faced Menachem a lot on Sunday mornings before the switch. I
Wait. What
think
team was Menachem? What team was Menachem on?
Menachem was a lifelong sub Sunday mornings. Don't you sub all the time Sunday mornings in
I
the past?
subbed a lot more, but Avi, I think we played in like the night leagues, the Wednesday night leagues randomly. Like I don't know
And that,
what
oh,
teams you were
that
on.
that had to have been a long time ago also because I wasn't allowed to pitch the last 5 years Wednesday nights.
Right. So I know. So I played a lot against you, but you were playing the infield, I think. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I did
yeah.
yeah, I faced you a lot on Sunday mornings, and then I also played you in the what's it called, the OHL
Oh right,
tournament two
OL, the
years ago.
OL. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about that team.
there is something very nice because Avi Edelman, as we all know, is a diehard softball player. And when you get up to the plate and Avi Edelman turns around and looks at his team and says, "He's got power, man. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, you know. You
Menachem,
get Avi's respect. It's a good feeling.
would you say
Menachem
the
at the
feeling
time.
would compare to the feeling that Avi had when Daniel Ash texted him about 20 minutes ago?
Very similar. A
Very
lot of
similar
simcha,
level.
a lot of simcha going on.
A lot of simcha. All right, well, we're having too much fun. We have to talk about the matchup Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're facing the Hungry Hippos, who you guys probably are not really familiar with the team at all. I don't know. Are you? Yeah.
We played.
No.
I know we played them this year. I remember exactly the game.
Yeah.
That choppy outfield in Inwood over there, where they had
Yeah. Yeah.
3 or 4 balls squeaked by them. I had one squeaked by me because it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good game for us, I think, Donovan. No?
Yeah, it was. I don't think they put their best foot forward, and I don't think it's representative of what they'll be bringing on Sunday.
Yeah.
They sort of came out of nowhere. Like 3 years ago they did not play very well, and then 2 years ago, and then last year they almost upset the Robins in the semis. They had a 1-run lead going into the bottom of the ninth, and or the top of the ninth, and fluky thing they ended up losing. And the team they played in the semis just now, the Cobra Rentals team, is that Sendy in the background?
No, it's
Um,
not Sandy in the background. Somebody else. I'm in my
uh,
office. Literally middle of a workday here. Yeah.
the team that they just beat was really the favorite to win the championship this year. They lost to the Robins in the championship. You probably know a lot of the guys on that team. There's a guy on that team, I am Zagel.
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Next.
Yeah. They're good. They're good. I also know Avi Cavalier's on that team. They have that team had a very good squad. Sabo's on that team.
Sabo's on that team, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't think it would be a bloodbath. I thought it would be. I thought Cobra Rentals would handle it 9-4, something like that. And they held them off for 14 innings, so I would not mess with the Hungry Hippos. I'm obviously not going to predict them to win. We don't do that, but
Yeah. No,
but
I think that they're a good team. They played well. The few flukes that they gave up, like in the outfield and everything, that's really where we got most of our runs. We did hit well that game. They did too. I think that it wasn't, like you just said, it wasn't representative of how they're actually going to play. Also, supposedly they were missing one or two of their
black
players.
players. Of their
Right.
black players.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but okay.
we don't have a wide audience here.
Right. Yeah, so they have a lot of like these.
A large percentage of our audience also is more than likely racist, but that's a separate discussion. Okay,
Right.
yeah, sorry,
No, yeah,
Menachem.
they had a lot of their non-Jewish players who didn't show up. But these guys were putting the ball. These guys were hitting well. One guy in left field, one of these non-Jewish guys, super nice guy. I was talking to him after. He had like 3 balls squeak by him, and that really gave us a lot of runs. But they know how to hit. They know what they didn't. They know how to field. They're not a team to really take lightly. Their pitcher I faced a few times. I don't know his name. The older guy.
Craig Stroh, the older guy, Craig Stroh.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. He
He's
doesn't
a
have
good
a lot
guy.
of yeah.
He will never walk anybody. He will never
Right,
ever walk
exactly.
anybody. He's very
He doesn't have a
speedy.
lot of speed on the ball, but he has a few tricks up his sleeve. But he doesn't walk anybody. But they're good. They're good. Remember, they have a good shortstop and third baseman. These guys, I remember that guy third picked the ball that was, I rocketed at him, and he just picked it and he threw me out. He's very good. Again, I don't think I know a single name on that team, but they're competitive, and I think it's going to be a good game. And I honestly think that we have an amazing squad, and we're not like one of these teams. By the way, I was like thinking about it yesterday. We're not one of these teams that has like That guy's a threat. That guy's coming up the bat. He's a threat. We don't have one guy. We don't have a Matt Rosenberg or like a Jack Ross that everybody fears. We are like a bunch of just really good players, very solid. Like we don't like starting with Mo Feldman. Mo Feldman is a hit machine. He does not miss what why is Dave shaking
He's
his
not
head?
going to be here this week.
I know, but I'm just talking about our team in
Yeah.
general.
No,
Like Mo
no, it's
Feldman,
yeah.
yeah, Mo Feldman is a hit machine. Shmuel Adelson, who I've been playing against on the Black Sox for years, Shmuel Adelson, he hits the ball harder than anybody I've seen in a while, and he's a
He's a
great
very nice
fielder.
hitter. He's a very nice hitter. Yeah.
Very
I
nice hitter.
actually
I've
saw him
been
make
right behind him.
I saw him make I didn't get it on video, unfortunately. He made a insane grab and twirl and throw to
Oh
first
my
in the
God,
field.
that was a nice play.
Holy
Yeah,
cow! That
an
was
even nicer catch at first base, Avi. Even nicer catch at
I
first
didn't
base.
know he had that in him. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh, you made
it
an
was
extra
really
catch?
all of us. I was,
Uh,
yeah, he threw him out of first. I had to stretch a little bit, but, and Ellie Dax also ducking. It was like an all around great team play. Like Shmuel with the pick and throw, Ellie ducked. I like stretched a little bit. It was a beautiful play. It was really, really nice. But then we
it's a
have like,
gorgeous.
yeah, we have this guy, we have Avi Crone, who also, when he makes contact with the ball, like he also rips it, and he's like a phenomenal hitter. Then I have Dave batting right behind me. Dave's also a base hit machine, even though he won't admit it. And we have a lot of depth. We
Dovey
only have one.
Berger. Dovey Berger hit 2 home runs a couple of weeks ago.
Dovey Berger, he's a
Um,
great sub for us too. I think yeah, he's even playing.
I think he's
He's
playing.
a, yeah, he's amazing. Sendy also, even though his hamstrings are
So
cracked.
I've been playing with Sendy for a very, very long time. And Sendy Berger, I've always known him as a third baseman, gold glove third baseman, great pitcher. He was never known for his hitting. And all of a sudden this year, he bought that axe bat off Yossi Kaufman, and he's a beast. Beast.
Sendy is such a pesky hitter. He just pokes the ball and he just gets on base. I mean, he needs a pinch runner 100% of the time, but he's an amazing hitter. He gets on base almost every single time. And then you have like the guys deep in the lineup, like Ozzie Septimus, who, like we said, is super quiet but an extremely reliable player. Willie Dick has been hitting very, very well. Like we're just all like Rada's like pesky, just also gets some bait. Like we really are just all around really good players. None of us are superstars that were, this guy that you need to be fear like crazy. We're just all great players, and I think that that's the kind of team that Rada puts together. Nobody who's like, he gets up like, oh my God, he's gonna kill the ball. Like there's no way to defend him. We're just good hitters who get on base, and I happen to have been slumping like crazy the last 2 games, which hopefully is not going to happen Sunday. Dave, I got on base like one time in 2 games. Okay, I haven't been
What did
playing
your
well.
what did your slump look like? What was happening at the plate? Like where'd the balls end up?
I don't know. So we played the Motors team, MS Motors, two
In
games
the
in a row,
playoffs? And
and their
yeah.
pitcher, he's a good pitcher, but like, and again, not to hate on him, he doesn't put a lot of speed on the ball. He killed me with a changeup this past week, and I just think that I wasn't waiting on the pitches, and I was popping out, grounding out, I wasn't really making good contact, so I was either just chopping the ball to like short or third, and then popping the ball to left field. I don't know. It's something I got to work on, but I think I hit pretty well against this pitcher, Craig, whatever his name is,
Craig Stroh.
um, Craig Stroh, and they also have another pitcher. I don't know who he is, but he's also pretty solid.
Who is their backup
I
pitcher,
remember
Avi?
Craig left in the middle of the game or something. And he
Right.
Ross.
was,
Ross.
Oh, Usher Ross. Usher Ross.
Usher Ross.
Right.
Usher Ross.
He's pretty. Yeah, he's very good. Also, he put some speed on the ball, but like I said,
We
I think
got to
we're
wrap
all
in a few
around.
minutes. Where the hell is
What?
Sendy? Where the hell is Sendy? We got to wrap in a few minutes.
I'll go get him.
Go get him.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? You think we're all around solid?
I think we're all around solid. Listen, we don't have like these amazing hitting games every game, but I think that when every guy in our team gets up to the plate, I'm not sitting there thinking like automatic out, like, oh, this sucks. And just to say before Sendy gets on, so he can't defend himself, I think that Sendy Berger, who I also, like Dave said, I did not know of him as a pitcher. I thought he was our backup pitcher. Sendy Berger right here, Mr. Good looking right there, is without a doubt, in my opinion, I think he's the best pitcher in the HSLB league, in the Sunday morning league. No
I
doubt
was
in my
gonna
mind.
actually, I was gonna actually say welcome Sandy to the podcast. Dub and I actually have spoken about this off air between ourselves a lot. I personally think Sandy is borderlining that line of B League to A League for a pitcher,
100%.
just like Yitzhak Weiss, just like Ariel Cohen. I think Sandy's right there.
Wait,
in my
before
opinion.
Sendy replies, what kind of an office dress code do you guys have over there?
I'm
What do
going
you
with
use?
that.
No dress code. There is no dress code here whatsoever.
I like it.
It's like a
It's
student
more.
dorm.
It's yeah. I have a
He's literally going to play tennis in the middle of the day. This guy.
no later.
Later.
End of the day. I just decided to not change today. I've been listening to the podcast, and all right, a few things. First of all, the Tigers. Where should I start? Black Sox or Tigers?
Tigers.
Tigers. Tigers. Our captain. Most guys, when they go up to the plate, they think they're getting a hit. David Manela goes up to the plate and thinks he's striking out in 3 pitches. David Manela
He
is
set the bar low.
a
He set the bar very
fantastic
low.
baseball player. David Manela can play in the A-League 100%. He just has
Agreed.
zero confidence and doesn't think he can play in the A-League. Our B-League team wants to win just as much as any A-League team. Yitzchak Weiss wants to win more than any A-League guy. And personally, I think our B-League team can compete, and not only compete, can win in the A-League. I pitched in the A-League last year with a mediocre, a weak team, a weak hitting team. Solid, decent fielding, very weak hitting. I don't think I gave up more than, actually one game, Avi Edelman to you at one bad inning. We had a bunch of errors. We gave up some runs.
But even those games when you had your full team there, I don't think you guys give up more than
We lost,
2
when we had our full team, the most runs I gave up were 3 runs. We lost 2-1 to that whatever team. I forgot the name.
CBS, the Alliance. The Alliance.
We lost 3
The best
nothing.
softball team ever assembled.
But they lost the championships, right?
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah.
It's like the Patriots. We lost 3-0 to Yossi Kaufman's team.
Yeah.
Whatever. Personally, I think the pitching, not to toot my own horn, I think myself, Yitzchak Weiss, Cohen can pitch. I don't think anybody's killing us in the A-League personally. I'm not putting anyone down in the A-League, but I don't think anyone's killing it. I mean, again, I did it last year. I don't know. Maybe I'm so bad that they couldn't hit terrible pitching, that thing. But I don't think so for what it's worth.
Dave, Gottlieb, what do we call this energy?
Big Briss energy. Big Briss energy.
Whatever. By the way, there's Big Briss Energy, there's Menachem Dick Dicker, and then there's a Dick. You know.
If you know, you know. So let's get the boys' predictions for Sunday.
All right,
Sendy,
going back to the Black Sox, first year I'm playing, Rada picked me up. I love great team, great guys. Rada is the king of
Wait,
bad
great
guys.
guys, Sendy. We have a very quiet squad we were talking about before. There's a lot of people on the team that will never say a word. You notice that?
Yes, I do.
I thought of a couple more. Ellie Cohen, he came for a few games. He'll never say a word an entire game. Dovey Berger, if you talk to him, he's fun, but he'll also not give too much. We said Ozzy, Mo Feldman, Avi Krohn, just a very quiet group.
Very nice
You have
guys.
Ellie Dax, who's definitely more talkative, if anything, more of a singing kind of guy. Ellie told me that if we win the championship, he's going to write a very nice, cute, slow song about our season.
It took me a second.
If the boys on both teams would have behaved and allowed me to do this one day, one field, whole ceremony for the championships with Titan Legacy, we could have had Dax sing the national anthem before we started, but no one wanted to go
That's
out.
true. It's true. Yeah, Ellie's great. But Ellie's loud. Ellie's got personality. I think the guys on our team that do talk, do have personality, outweigh the quiet guys. And the quiet guys are good. They come, even if they don't talk much, they're good vibes to have around. Nobody's like bad vibes. And, and they play great baseball.
All right, so let's get to some predictions, boys.
Rada's phenomenal at putting together a team. He's also phenomenal at getting backups. I don't know where he pulls these guys from, but he's got
some sort of like underworld.
His Rolodex.
A very classic backup. Do you remember the guy? He was a big burly guy with a red beard, Mutty Shore.
Yeah, he was the catcher.
Yeah, he caught. Yeah. But it's that's a very classic Rada backup. This guy shows up. He's an awesome catcher, great energy, hits the ball really, really hard. And it's you've never seen the guy before in your life at any softball field in the Jewish area.
Yeah. I always said that's Rada's, all of his teams in general are random guys that you're like, where did that guy come from? But that guy knows how to hit. But then over the years, I got to know Rada's like players. I'm like, oh, that guy's like a Raider team guy, like, and I even know some of them like personally, but like I don't even like Max Schlesinger. I don't know who Max Schlesinger was. Max Schlesinger is a great baseball player, and I just consistently see him on Raiders team, and I'm just like, oh, like these are the kind of guys he puts together. You might not know them, but they're just good, and he puts together great teams.
Yeah. All right. So predictions. We got to wrap them, and we have another
I'm not,
podcast right after this.
I'm not giving a prediction. I hope we win.
Are you pitching this Sunday? By the way, there was a rumor that your wife was angry at you or something.
No, not at all. I'm the only flexible guy on our team. Because we have such nice guys, everybody is afraid of their wives on our team, I think. And it's like, oh, I can only play 9 o'clock, 9:30. I got to play whenever it's a chance.
Okay, somebody said after, I guess it was a joke. Somebody wrote, Avi, were you saying something?
No, I was going to say, when I brought up the idea to Rada at the game about doing this whole event of having, the Titan League at 8 o'clock, and then the Legacy doubleheader afterwards, or 1-1, Legacy, Titan Legacy, or Titan Legacy, Titan. Sendy's the one who said, yeah, let's do it. Don't worry, just do it. They'll figure it out. I mean, I should have listened. But I got complaints from literally everybody else crying to me out. It's Father's Day, I have to get home, it's too late, 7 guys are unavailable, and the whole thing fell.
Oh, is it Father's Day? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, speaking of which, Manela, I'm impressed at your ability to play so much softball because it looks like you have 9 children in your WhatsApp profile picture. 4 kids.
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem.
I'm not going to predict. I saw these guys play last week. I didn't play the first game, the regular season game that we played versus them. But those guys, they played a crisp game. They made every play and then some. They made some double plays.
Got to hit. Boys got to hit.
They knew how to play. They were clearly baseball players who are now playing softball. They knew the game. You can tell from a team in 2 seconds. They make it out. They throw it around properly. Like, they know the game. They know how to play. And hopefully we win. I've never faced any of these guys. I have no idea. I'm playing with one of them in the Shul League, so that'll be fun.
Which one's that?
Morty Kirsch.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, he's a wonderful player. He's a wonderful
Which position is he playing? Who is this guy?
It's interesting. He plays third, but don't they have Sammy Miller at third? So where does Sammy play?
So maybe he plays short. They have a phenomenal infield. Kirsch is a phenomenal player. Absolute stud.
And Sammy Miller is also a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Who's their pitcher?
Craig Rowe.
His name is Craig Stroh. Ironically, I actually found them their pitcher. Their pitcher like broke his leg or something like a week before the season, and Brian Cohen called me in a panic, and we got Craig Stroh for them.
So I don't know. That guy pitched 15 innings last week. He must be going through it right now. But
no, they had another guy come in. The other guy, Ross, you said.
Oh, Ross subbed in the middle of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
When I showed up, Ross was pitching.
Yeah, Craig wasn't pitching. Yeah.
I didn't know who I was watching. I never played these guys. But they looked really good, and hopefully it should be a great game,
Yeah.
Let's get predictions.
I think we're going to – I expect to win. That's it.
Menachem.
We're not gonna get anything from these guys.
No, Avi, no. What's his name? Sendy's very politically correct because I actually said this to somebody the other day. I'm like, yeah, you know Sendy Berger? They're like, yeah, I know Sendy. So Sendy Berger is top 5 nicest people I've ever met in my life. Sendy is a sweetheart.
Wow.
So he's never going to put anybody down, even if it's a non-Jewish softball team. Sendy's always going to just say the right thing because he's an Adam Gadol.
I'll tell you this, though. Don't talk about Chaim Zegelbaum in front of him. That's when he gets very possessive.
And now he's triggered. And
Chaim Zegelbaum did nothing wrong. It was meant to be. And it's all good.
Yeah.
We got better. We improved.
We did.
Yeah, they definitely did, by the way.
Let me just say, while you guys are all on this podcast, yeah, go ahead, Avi.
No, I was going to say, is anybody here going to actually give a prediction, or am I the only one who's actually going to say something?
Go. You go. Let me hear what you say.
Avi, you predict, and then we'll go, because we have Brian Cohen in a few minutes.
I think it's a fairly easy prediction. I had it all year. I had the Black Sox at 2, Rides to Fly, and I had the Jules by DK Hungry Hippos at 6 or 7. I would be contradicting myself if I didn't go against my if I went against my predictions. I think the Rides to Fly Black Sox will ride away in victory.
You just cut out, Avi. Avi, you just cut out. We can't hear you.
It was meant to be. You didn't want to put that out into the ether. No bad juju.
Do you hear me now? Do you hear me? No?
I can't hear you.
Now.
We hear you.
Now I hear you.
You You hear me? I'm good now?
Yes.
Okay. So I predict that the Rides to Fly Black Sox will ride away from the Jules by DK Hungry Hippos, and I think they'll actually win fairly easily, pulling away Rides to Fly Black Sox 8, Jules by DK Hungry Hippos 3 is my prediction.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I
All
say that
right,
because
fellas.
I trust Shmuel Reda. He builds a winning team.
Avi, there's something wrong with your microphone. Yeah.
All right, I trust Reda. He builds a winning team. Sendy's a phenomenal pitcher, and I've seen the Hippos, Jules by DK, be amazing. I've seen them be terrible, get blown out in games, and I don't trust them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Nobody believes in us. That's the only thing we're thinking throughout the game, boys. That's it.
Yeah,
All right.
I think if we play our regular baseball, if we play, Sendy has some dirty pitches. By the way, I always thank God that I'm on Sendy's team on Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings, because if I was ever at the face Sendy, he would make me look silly. Like, I'm like, don't ever want to face Sendy. Sendy's got dirty stuff. We're all going to hit well. I think that our main thing, I'm really not worried about our hitting. Our main thing, and sometimes we've had a few problems with this in the regular season, is if our field is a little choppy, we just have to make easy plays. Any ground ball in the infield should be picked up, played well. Plays in the outfield, hitting the cutoff. Stupid errors like bad baseball IQ moments. That's the only reason. That's what's really hurt us in the season. But I think that if we play our regular baseball and we field well and we lock down, I think that we will, like Avi Edelman said, we will win handsomely.
And we'll win Smash House, baby. Team dinner
Oh, my
together at
God.
Smash House.
Yeah.
Avi, is the
Oh, my
dinner
God.
at Smash House, or we could order it? We could order it out. How does
Whatever
it
you
work?
like. No, the dinner is just brought to you by Smash House. They'll send the food to you. You can go to Smash House, whatever you want. They'll provide dinner for the winning team.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming on. Looking
Thank you.
forward to seeing everybody Sunday.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye. Thank you.
See you on YouTube. All right, we are live for the 91st episode, part 2 of the
Let's go podcast. We continue on here with the 91st episode. We just had on the boys from the Rides to Fly Black Sox, and they told us about their team and how they expect to win the championship. And now we get to have the captain, the one and only Brian Cohen. Welcome back for his first time this year since losing the championship, representing the Jules by DK Hungry Hippos. We had two amazing not only teams but sponsors, Rides to Fly and Jules by DK, two extremely useful and awesome sponsors involved in this championship as well. Welcome, Brian. We are excited to have you in the championship after that heartbreaker last year. Not to bring it up too much, but anyways, we're excited to have you on. And David, take it away.
All right, well, the Hungry Hippos get no respect. Let's just start right there. The Hungry Hippos get no respect. I'm going to put out the clip later. Avi predicted a cakewalk for Rides to Fly a few minutes ago. What was your final, Avi?
Oh, man.
8-3.
8-3.
I think. Was it 8-3 or 9-4? I think it was 8-3.
The Hippos go into an amazing Robins team last year in the semis that, I predicted them to get beaten down, and they lost on they lost on a play that could have gone either way, from what I recall. The Robins team was so good, they were banished to the A-League. They come into the season and get the 7 seed, 7 in the power rankings to start the season, Mr. Edelman. Even going into the last week, Avi, the podcast, I've learned my lesson. I said it's going to be a closer game, but Cobra's going to win without too much trouble. I didn't predict a beatdown or anything like that. I think I said it'll be 9-5 Cobra, something along those lines. I don't remember exactly. And then you guys did it again. When I looked at my phone, it was my son's Upsharon last Sunday. I looked at my phone, and it says like 2 up in the 9th. I was like, holy shit, it's happening. And then Yona Berger wants to know if Brian will be signing autographs by the championship game. I don't know what that reference is to.
Ask
If
Yona.
you I'll sign.
Ask Yona if he's willing to come to the championship game and video it. Well, make sure you get a signed ball from Brian Cohen included.
Oh, yeah.
So, Brian, here you are. I would say, I know your business is not finished, but I would say, it's sort of like there's like fate involved in this. God wasn't going to let you get to a championship game. I know the fates work weird, especially in the softball and baseball world. you had to really sort of, I don't know, like an epic, like a Greek epic. You had to really run the gauntlet in order to get into a championship, going up against arguably the best team in the league,
Run the gauntlet.
and run the Gridiron Gauntlet, and winning an epic, exhausting. I can't even imagine what the 14 innings were like. So welcome to the podcast.
First of all, David, you could imagine what 14 innings were like. You were a part of it 3 years
that
ago.
Robbins game, I could, yeah.
Yeah,
no
it
one
was
else
crazy.
No one else
Crazy.
So yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was a crazy game. Just to comment on what you guys were talking about before about your predictions for next week, it seems like Avi's been 0 for 2 on our playoff run. He did predict us to beat the Grasshoppers, but he thought it would be a close game, and it wasn't. And then, if I recall, you originally were thinking about having it be more of a blowout versus the Chihuahuas, and then you kind of made it into a close game, but still wrong. So I'm hoping that your streak of being wrong about us continues.
It's funny, I've had 2 polar streaks. I had a streak of being wrong about you guys, but I've also had a streak about being right about the Black Sox, which is really why I have no choice but to make the prediction that I'm making. Hopefully it'll come full circle and not burn up my face. But, let's see. I won't be there, so I'm not, no one can blame me for influencing anybody, using any commissioner influence.
No, I mean, even the last game versus the Black Sox, it was pretty close until the end. It was a little back and forth, and then it became, I'm pretty sure we tied it at 7 at one point. With maybe the 7th inning, it was like 7-7, and then we just had
Which game are you talking about?
When we played versus you guys earlier this year versus the Blacks.
Oh yes.
Guys won by 5, but I wouldn't say that it was necessarily like a blowout.
It was a weird game. It was a weird game. It was a very weird game.
It was pretty cold. It was windy. It was rainy. They ended the game after the 8th inning, I believe.
What happened was we were up by like 5 runs at that point, and we put some men on base, and it was pouring, so the ump just called it. If it was a close game, I imagine you guys would have wanted us to continue, or I don't know. I know in the rule book,
I always tell the umpire like safety first, but yeah, I mean we would have wanted to continue, but I'm not going to argue with the ump if they call the game for safety purposes.
So walk us through your epic playoff game.
Yeah, I mean it was a crazy game. So
Brian, I'm pumped to hear about this. I'm so mad I missed it.
Yeah,
I missed it.
I've been like trying to take like mental notes for the last few days. If we did this on Monday, I would have been probably get more, but like it's been a few days now.
Brian, you're a teacher, really? You're a teacher and you're taking mental notes? Is that what you tell your students to do in the classroom? What kind of a role model are you? Okay, you have Post-its.
Some actual physical notes too. Don't worry, okay? So in the bottom of the first inning, we get like 2 quick outs, and then we had a misplay. There was a line drive, pretty like low sinking line drive, and you were a little too aggressive on the ball. It got by the outfielder, so it ended up as a home run. So right away, 1-0 Chihuahuas. So we were, that was pretty bad start to the game, but we were pretty confident the whole time. I'm pretty sure.
What happened on that play?
Hit like a low sinking line drive to the center fielder. He tried to catch the ball, but it bounced a little like in front of him, got under his glove, ended up rolling by. And although you want to be like technical, like a 3-base error.
It's a Zegelbaum. I know how he hit it into left field.
It was center field.
He hit it to center. Very nice, Chaim Z.
There were 2 Zegelbaums. I
was
think
it Chaim or Avivi? I was going to ask. Was it the taller one or the shorter one?
I'm pretty sure it was the shorter one.
That's Chaim.
But I could be. Yeah. I could be wrong. I think it was Chaim. I was looking at the box score before. So we go down 1-0 right away. But then in the second inning, I'm pretty sure the second inning we tied it back up at 1. There weren't really many like base runners on for the first few innings. It was like they had their home run and then maybe like one guy on every inning. Sometimes like 1, 2, 3s, and we were struggling the whole game. I mean, in 14 innings, we only had 7 hits.
Wow!
And maybe
credit to Jacob Gelb for that.
Only drew like a few walks. It was really a defensive game and like a pitching game. Both pitchers were awesome and making the hitters off balance all game. They ended up putting together a run maybe in like the 5th or the 6th inning on another play that we ended up giving them an extra base that we kind of messed up and ended up leading to a sac fly. And then we ended up putting together our tying run an inning later. So our center fielder who did make the misplay was definitely our hitting MVP of the game. He went 3 for 4. He had almost like half our hits. He had a
Who,
leadoff
who,
triple.
who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
His name is Jason. So he hit a leadoff triple and then ended up scoring on a ground ball to first base. And so that's how it got to 2-2. And really it was just, a defensive ball game. Both teams were making plays. We turned 2 double plays during the game, which were really big for us. Definitely swung the momentum
By the
in our.
way, who's playing third and who's playing short in the championship? Speaking of double plays.
So unfortunately for us, fortunately for him, I hope he has a great time. Sammy Millard is going to be in Israel, so he's not going to be there for
It's a
us.
By
big
the way,
loss on the left side of the infield.
so will Mo Feldman. Maybe this is God's way of evening things
They
out.
offset.
We have even
offset.
Mo Feldman also
so.
being.
Not really sure who's going to play third and short, but it's probably going to be a combination of Morty Kirsch and Malik Wade. Probably going to be a combination of them. Also,
Who's it
maybe
normally when you have Kirsch and Miller? What do you guys do?
Yeah, we were wondering that on the last podcast.
third base always. Sammy's always third base. He's a wall. He made every play.
So Kirsch goes to short or to second? What do you do with?
Yeah, Kirsch goes to short, and then Malik played second base.
Got it.
So Sammy and Morty were awesome. They made like every play.
So who turned the double plays? There
was a ground ball to Morty. He flipped it to Malik, who fired it to first and got the runner by like half a step. And then there was a line. I was playing short center field for some of the game, for like most of the game, and there was a line drive hit to me, like to my right, arranged over. I guess they didn't think I was going to get there because I'm definitely not the most graceful looking fielder out there.
Oh, Brian, stop it. I love watching you lumbering around first base.
There was one on second base. I got to the ball, ranging to my right, and then like threw it across my body to second base for the double play.
You see, I told you.
So, I don't know what happened. I had like the best defensive game of my life. And by that, I mean like I made like 2 plays.
So besides for that one miscue, and that was in the bottom of the first, right?
Yeah.
Did your team make any other mistakes in the field?
Yeah, their second run was definitely aided by the fact that one of our players overran the ball in the outfield, and the guy got to second base instead of just being a single. He ended up making it to third base, and then ended up scoring on a sac fly. So that run kind of.
This is real A-League style ball, and we like to see this in the playoffs in the B-League, where the extra base is the difference between victory and losing. That one extra base, that one right fielder.
That one mistake.
That right fielder who's trying to throw out a guy at home on a single when he has no shot, and the single turns into a double and sometimes a triple, that'll cost you the game. Yeah, the fundies. We like games where the fundies, if you screw up the fundies, your team loses.
Especially at this level.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
Especially at this level of softball. We're really big on communication, even if it's, not necessarily necessary, but, it's not about like anyone's feelings. Like we're going to yell at you to throw the ball to second base or throw the ball home or whatever the right play is, and just make sure that everyone's on the same page and making the right play. We all have the same goal in mind of winning. So fundamental for sure.
Yeah. And then, okay, do you have more notes from the game of things you wanted to point out that are specific? I know I was interrupting you with questions.
I mainly wrote down everyone's name and some highlights of some players because I don't necessarily know the guy so well. Yisachar Feldberg, his son, I think his name's Aaron or Aaron. He was playing catcher.
Aaron, please. This is a very proud right wing flat show. There are no Aarons. Zach Feldberg does not have any Aarons in the family.
Aaron Feldberg was a menace all game. We were talking about it, during the middle of the game. He was on base every time. He went so in such a low scoring game. He went 4 for 5 and 2 doubles and a walk. So he was a menace all game. He was hitting the ball in like the same place every single time, and it was just eating up the fielders. Rocket ground balls and line drives that were like getting by. One went like off the first baseman's foot. So he was just like on base all game, and definitely one of the stars of the game for them. They actually ended up with 13 hits, so we made a lot of plays down the stretch. They got a lot of base runners in like the 8th, 9th inning and extra innings. I'm pretty sure they had a runner on third base with 1 out at one point, and they didn't score in extras. We got a pop up
in the bottom of the ninth. They had a runner on third and 1 out.
The bottom of the ninth, yeah. That was a bad. I'm sure they're like thinking about that still. That's a pretty tough one to lose having that situation. I think it was Eli Sabo came up in a lot of big spots, and just hit into some bad luck.
Oof.
I was a fan
Eli
all game.
Sabo. Eli
I love
Sabo.
I love
Baby.
Ellie Sabo.
Come on.
Oh, he's a really great player. I think he'd be the first one to tell you that.
He's
Did
playing on
not
my
come
summer
through.
team. He's on my
Okay,
summer.
so 1
He's
second.
on my summer Sunday morning team.
He's a great player. Great player. Doesn't make any mistakes in the field.
Now, what inning was their second run scored in? They got one in the first.
I can't recall, and I don't want to open up the box score now because I'm like, it was in like the middle innings.
Okay, and then when did you guys score your runs?
We scored our run in our first one in the second inning, so like we responded to the home run, and we also scored like an inning maybe after they scored their second run. Like it was pretty like we responded right after they scored.
That's a good sign. So that means you guys went from like the 7th until the 14th, or even the 6th with no scoring.
It was a long time without any runs. Again, it was so much to remember that I could be misremembering. But
was this the best softball game of your life?
I mean, considering we won, yes. If it happens last year, then that would have been the best one. But I mean, this right now is definitely the best.
I was actually going to ask that if you would have pulled it off last year and closed it out against the Robins, that would have been a more memory saving, more enjoyable win than this 14 inning win that you had on Sunday.
I mean, I think so. I feel like every time I play against the Robins, I feel maybe I just make it up to myself, but I feel like I have this like rivalry with Ariel when I'm in the box and he's on the mound. I feel like there's all these mind games going on. We've spoken about the mind games between our battles before. And you know, I know more guys on the Robins. I've played for them before.
You're a very strong hitter. I'm curious. I know you were 5th in the league. I think you hit 506 or something like that, or 3rd in the league. I don't remember.
I don't think who's keeping track. I don't know. 516.
He's like, Brian's like, who's keeping track? He's like, it's actually 506.4. You know, just don't make a mistake. What kind of mind games with Ariel? Because you're a strong hitter. He's a good pitcher. What's going back and forth? Greg Maddux and Barry Bonds. You know.
When it comes to facing Ariel, and definitely like a lot of the top pitchers in the B League too, and even some of the guys I faced in the A League in my life, I feel like a lot of times, you know, a lot of pitchers don't necessarily like throw 3 fast ones in a row. So it's really just kind of a guessing game when they're going to pull the string and try to get that change up. I know Ariel is really good at throwing off batters and changing speeds very subtly. So, you know, it's kind of like, when is he going to throw the slower one that I feel like I can line up better? You know, especially when pitchers get even behind like 1-0, you're not seeing too many fast ones in a row. Some pitchers, yes, will throw fast ones like all the time. But especially in the B League, you're not necessarily seeing that. Ariel definitely isn't throwing fast ones every single time. He likes to change speeds. So it's really just like a mind game of when is the slow one coming.
Got it. And that's what you feast on? You like the softer pitches?
I mean, yeah, with a more, I'm like, I stand pretty far back in the box, so I'm ready to line it up and like take my time when the ball's in the air. I'm always ready for the fast one.
No, you have guys who much prefer hitting fast pitching.
Yeah, I think I'm just more used to the slower ones. Being in the Legacy League, if I've been playing in the Titan League last 2 years, maybe I'd be more used to the fast ones by now. But you see, like, definitely slower pitches overall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I should really take back my question. You know, I don't think it's like, you know, of course, Brian Cohen, if he would have won against the Robins last year, would have been more memorable because now he doesn't have a chance anymore to beat the Robins Sunday morning. They're moved to the Titan League. So unless Brian's bringing the Hippos up to the Titan League anytime soon, his chances of beating the
Never
Robins
know. We feel like we're an A-League team, so.
Everyone's saying that, by the way. Sach's telling me that he's thinking of bringing the Cobra Rentals to the A-League next year. Brian Cohen's telling me now. A lot of people are telling me we could compete in the A-League, so buckle up, buddy.
The Robins show they belong in the A-League. They almost made the championship, I believe, right?
It was a crazy comeback from Hamdi.
They're 5-1 in the 6th inning of a 7-inning game in Game 3.
We were 1 pitch away from beating them last year. We were up 5-4 in the semis last year, and then they had a 2-run double to walk it off. I mean, we were that close to beating them. So if they can make the championship in the Titan League, then there's no reason to think that we couldn't belong.
Again, good pitching and good fielding, you could be in any single softball game against any type of team. That step comes down.
And even though we had a couple of errors on Sunday, our fielding was amazing. And Asha Ross, I mean, if you pitch 14 innings, you're automatically MVP of the game. So he was incredible.
Oh, Craig didn't pitch at all. It was all Asha Ross.
So Craig ended up showing up very late to the game. He showed up in like the 9th inning or something like that. So yeah.
Because he had the other game?
So he thought he had another game. It ended up being canceled, but nobody told him. So he ended up coming to our game, but he was very late. So at that point, Osher was feeling it, and me and Shlomo decided that there's no way we can
Ross
change
went all
pitchers.
14 innings.
Yeah, and shout out to his brother, the third Ross, the forgotten one, Aryeh Ross, for catching 12 of the innings. He was also a hero of the game. So.
And so who's pitching for you next Sunday? Usher Ross, I imagine?
I think Craig is going to pitch. We feel like when Craig is there and we can get Osher in the outfield over somebody like me, we're a better team. So the goal is winning, and that's what we're going to do.
Sendy Berger, our pitcher, just texted me. He said, "All right, got it. Nothing slows Sunday to Brian Cohen."
Do it. Let me see you throw three strikes. Let's go. Let's see. I haven't seen one legacy pitcher be able to throw 3 fastballs down in the strike zone. So
sorry, I was laughing at what Sendy wrote. Can you go back to who's pitching Sunday?
I think it's going to be Craig. That's the plan.
Really? Why?
They want Ross in the outfield.
When we can get both Rosses in the outfield, and then we have Derek and we have Jason out there. I mean, if you get the ball in the air, it's being caught 100%. You have to hit it over everyone's head to get it hit in the outfield when we have those 4 guys.
So, Brian, you're talking about becoming an A-League team. How's the housing market in Teaneck looking? And does that mean you're going
I don't know if
2 bridges to play softball?
I don't want to get into what's going to happen next year. I have no clue what's really going to happen. I mean, the housing market is pretty bad. So
no, I heard there's nothing on the market in Teaneck, and even when there is,
you're going to stress me out talking about houses, David. Don't stress me out.
You get it enough from your wife, I'm sure. All right, good stuff. So, okay, so then you get in. So you go through the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th. Is either side putting up base runners? Are there any intense plays? Are there any close plays? Or it's just boring baseball, so to speak?
I mean, we were not putting up base runners. We maybe got like 1 or 2 guys from the 10th to the 13th inning. Like really, like probably 2 or 3 of those innings were 1, 2, 3 for us. They were putting up base runners, definitely putting the pressure on. So it was definitely exciting. I mean, anytime you're in the semifinal game, extra innings, and there's guys on base, it's definitely exciting, and the intensity never stopped. We never felt like we were out of the game, even though we were having trouble getting guys on base, and they weren't having as much trouble as us. We still felt pretty confident, and we knew that we would always be able to get out of the inning. Our defense was just incredible.
What was the biggest jam you guys were in? Was it that runner on third, 1 out? Was that the closest they were to winning, or was it worse than the extra
That was
inning?
probably the biggest one, considering that would have been a walk-off, right? That would have been. I'm pretty sure that would have been a walk-off in that situation.
So was there anything worse than extra innings? Did they threaten any worse than they did in the 9th?
If I'm remembering correctly, I think they had 2 innings where they got multiple guys on base, but we were able to get out of it, get like a pop up here, like ground ball to Sammy.
The reason why I run on third and less than 2 outs is such a huge thing to get out of, because you could score the run on an out. So a fly ball, a ground ball, that's why that was massive that you guys escaped that.
Yeah, we got Sabo to pop up to Osher in the infield, which just it was a huge momentum swing. We were so sure that the next guy was not going to get a base hit.
Got it. And then, okay, so who did you think was going to win in all those extra innings?
We knew that we were going to win. We felt so confident. Me and Shlomo kept talking about how it's not happening again. We were at the same field. We were at Chestnut again. There was all this extra drama to it.
Right, the fates were there.
It really felt like this was planned by Hashem. That we were, we're at Chestnut in extra innings again versus the number 1 seed again. We were not losing this game.
That game against the Robins went 10 innings?
10 innings, yeah.
10 innings, I remember, yeah. Okay.
We were not losing. It was not happening.
So how did you guys score the go-ahead run in the end?
I mean, again, I said it was from Hashem. This was 100% from Hashem. It was the one bad play that the Chihuahuas made.
Was it that tree stump in left field?
Play one time. Uh-oh.
What did you say?
The tree didn't come into play one time, although we were joking how it was going to be like a walk-off tree, walk-off single off the leaves, because that was the rules that, if it went off the leaves, that the ump would just, make a call. And we just weren't going to argue because argument. So we were joking how, they're going to hit a ball, it's going to hit, one leaf, and they're going to call it a single, and we're going to lose. But really, we felt confident we were going to win. So in the 14th inning, I'm pretty sure our first 2 hitters got out. We actually had Craig pinch hit for Aryeh Ross, and he had a sharp.
He's a nice hitter, Craig.
Yeah, he hit a sharp ground ball to the opposite side. Second baseman made a good play. Um, and then Jason, it was like the one time he got out all game. He got out. So Osher gets on base. I can't remember if it was a walk or a single. I want to say it was a walk. Like it came back from 0-2. I think he came back from like 0-2. Worked a walk. So he's like dancing around at first base. So there's two outs. Runner on first. He's dancing around first base.
Wait, who is this? Who's dancing?
Osher Ross. So I talk
Okay.
about MVP game. So he's the one who like made the play here. He's dancing around first base. Feldberg tries to pick him off, gets over Mendy's head, goes down the right field line.
He learned that
Osher,
from his dad. He learned that from his dad.
so Osher gets around to third base, and he doesn't. He makes the turn at third base. So the right fielder throws the ball home, and I can't like. It sounds like I'm making this up. Gelb and Feldberg run into each other, going for the ball. The ball scoots by, goes into our dugout, and since he's already at third base, he gets awarded home, and that's how we scored our winning run. A 3-base error that was not even during a play. It was just from a pickoff of them.
That's great.
Wow.
Two errors, 3 bases. Yeah, it was wild.
Aaron Felberg must have been very upset. I didn't hear this story.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was focused on our team. I don't know how he reacted after that happened. I mean, I imagine he's pretty upset. I mean, you feel like as the catcher, you got to make that throw to first base, be more catchable. I'm sure Mendy feels like he should have at least got a glove on it. And I'm sure the whole team probably feels like anyone involved in that play probably feels they should have done something better. I mean, they made 2 errors for 3 bases, so it was pretty bad for them. I'd be very disappointed. I'd still be having like nightmares about it right now if I was involved in that play. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then in the bottom of the 14th, we got 2 outs. They got a runner on base, and then we make the final play.
Oh wait, they had a man on with 2 outs. What was it?
I think Sabo had a line drive that made it to left field.
Keeps him alive. Sabo's very pesky. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sabo came up a lot of times. Got a lot of big spots in this game. So
Who made the last out on their side?
And then I believe the last out would have been maybe it was Bienenstock.
Noah?
No, Bienenstock. Our buddy.
Oh, I don't know. Yakov?
It was the 9 or the 10 the team who made the last out. I believe it was a ground ball to Morty, who threw it over first base. I can't really remember exactly what happened.
Did you guys celebrate, or you were too beat?
I was going to ask, how was the celebration? Were you guys too tired?
We did celebrate. I was actually playing catcher in the last inning, so I was focused on the whole field. It was hard to remember everything that happened. There was so much baseball that was played.
All right, we got to wrap in a couple minutes. We got to get to predictions.
Someone just texted me that Sabo made the last out, so maybe Geld was the one who got on base in the last.
Go. One of my daddies.
So, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
The Black Sox have a little bit of a problem hearing about this whole game. We haven't really played a close game all year. It sounds crazy. You guys love close games. Yeah, close games are very tough. I don't know. I could probably ask Brookler and he would know. I think we either lost or won, I would say, by 3 to 4 runs in almost every single game we played. I need to ask. We certainly didn't have anything that looked like it was approaching extra innings. And our last 2 games against MS Motors, we played in the last game of the season and the playoffs. We're not particularly close. So, obviously I'm going to predict the Black Sox to win because they're my team. Actually, I'm not even going to make should I make a prediction? Avi, you always make predictions for your team, right?
Yep.
All right, Black Sox win. What's that?
We know that you think that you're going to win. It's fine.
Right. So I would say Black Sox 5-3. But I would say that we have a big handicap here that we haven't played a close game. I don't think I'm going to ask Bromberg or Brookler to look it over. I don't think we've played a close game all season.
So you said Mo Feldman's out.
Mo Feldman, he's our center fielder, quiet guy, goes about his business.
That's a big loss.
Yeah, you know him.
So, while Sammy is a big loss, we have 3 stud infielders, so the left side of our infield is still covered. We can just move Malik over to the left side. So if we're both missing guys, maybe that's we still will be able to be okay. I don't know who you guys have out there for.
It's a good question. Who's going to be in our outfield? We have Avi Crone, David Manela, I need to look at the roster to see who's.
I know we're working out like who's going to be like because I know Rada might be hurt, so there might be like an injury
There might
replacement.
be an injury exemption for Rada. Yeah, he has a
Uh,
list of
and
guys.
for,
It has to be approved
no,
by
the rule,
Brian.
you would have a guy play and it'd be a 10-on-10. We don't want to win any like 10-on-9 game. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
but you guys get to pick who it is, though. It has to be approved by you guys.
yeah, we're me and Shlomo are figuring that out.
If Rada brings Ari, for example, Ari's playing on my championship, but if Rada brings two absolute studs, you're not required to allow him to take attendance because it's unfair to play 10-on-9. It has to be somebody you feel like it's not going to be a game changer, obviously.
Yeah, we're working on that. But it's interesting that you're missing a center fielder because this is a conversation on last year, David, of like what's the most important position. So it's arguably the most important position is center field. That was that one part of the conversation.
I remember well. You really liked that. You texted me about it afterward.
Yeah, and we have a lot of guys. Even though we didn't get any hits, which was credit to the Chihuahuas. I mean, they have a way of making the field look really small when you're at bat. Me and Shlomo were talking about how they move their infielders back and they put their outfielders together. So like getting a ground ball through is hard because infielders are back, and then when you hit the ball into the outfield, like there's going to be a guy there unless you're hitting it down the line. So they have a really good, their defensive strategy was pretty strong, but even still, I feel pretty confident with our ability to hit, especially up the middle.
Sendy told me that our outfield is going to be Manela, Dovey Berger, Ozzy Septimus, and Avi Crone. All very good players, but Mo is just definitely a big hit to us. We have no subs. Everyone's eligible. Okay. Avi Crone, I need to talk to before the game. He has a tendency to try to get the guy at third kind of situation from right field when we don't need to. I'm going to give him a step off the team. I'm going to give him, he's young. He's a young, talented kid.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something before we wrap up. I'll tell you, being that I'm going to have my own championship game, I'll be in my own championship. The only other guy in that field fit to be giving out the trophies will be David Gottlieb. So I really hope for your sake, David, you're not having to hand out trophies to the team that just beat you guys in the championship.
So David has to hand us the trophy.
I'm going to be bringing the trophies to the game.
Big smile on your face with the picture, David.
What's
smile.
that?
When you hand us the trophy, it's a big smile on your face.
Yeah, I'm going to have the full enthusiasm,
All right,
so Avi, before we get to Brian's prediction, Avi, say it to his face. Say it to his face.
Yeah,
say what your prediction
I, as everyone knows, I'm a big believer in Shmuel Rada's constructions of teams. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he's been there before. He's a champion at heart in the Legacy League and in HSL in general, but now in the Legacy League, since he broke up into the Legacy and Titan. I've seen the Black Sox play extremely high-level softball. I've seen Jules by DK Hungry Hippos do it also, but I've also seen them play extremely poorly. I've seen them play very sloppy. I did have them at 7 going into the season. I had the Rides to Fly Black Sox at 2. And for those reasons combined, I think it might be close in the beginning, but ultimately the experience together with my belief from the beginning of the year and my separation between the Rides to Fly Black Sox at 2, the Jules by DK Hungry Hippos at 7, leads you to my final result being Rides to Fly Black Sox 8 and Jules by DK Hungry Hippos 3. And I think that's how it's going to go.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, although I would say that preseason power rankings shouldn't be a factor anymore. We're very far removed from preseason power rankings. But again, the light just turned off. This room is like no motion.
It's Brian after dark.
We love when Ollie picks against us. It usually leads to a win for us, so we'll take it.
Well, Brian, do you have a prediction for us?
What do we got from you, Brian?
Yeah, we're winning this game 10-0. Easy. 10-0 Mercy after 6. All right.
Is there a mercy rule in the playoffs? In the champs, there's no mercy.
There is 12 after 6.
It goes up a little bit.
12-0. I changed my prediction. 12-0.
What inning, Brian?
6. 12-0 after 6.
Okay. Oh, because that's when it'll end. No, but I meant when will the score? When will?
I'm making an executive decision. If that happens, you can play for free in HSL forever.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take that.
All right, Brian, it's a great pleasure to have you on. People should know that Brian was the first ever Let's Go podcast guest.
Yes.
I think it was episode 2 or 3, something like that. I think episode 2. Whose idea was it to have guests, Avi? I don't remember.
Episode 1 was a 2-parter. Episode 2, I think, was Brian's. I don't know. Well, the whole idea with this was to help build the community, right? It was to sort of make it more than just a game. So I think when we started this, the goal was to have people on and make people feel part of things.
Yeah, thank God it's worked well. Hopefully, Brian, you don't find real estate on the other side of the George Washington Bridge. Well, another reason for you to lose is that if you lose, you'll have unfinished business in the softball fields of Queens and the five towns.
Yeah, you'll find the way back if you lose for sure.
Looks like we lost Brian. All right, well, it's a good time to stop.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.